Hey, what's up guys? Tip and Tara here from Fit to Travel. And if you've stumbled upon our page here, you're probably looking for some French Polynesia videos or you're looking to plan your next trip. If not, that means you probably were a subscriber and welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about French Polynesia, specifically one of our favorite islands and the best things to do on the island of Huahine.
Yes. Huahine was one of our favorites. So a little bit about the island. It's only a 40-minute flight from Tahiti and like 25 minutes from Bora Bora. So it's right there in the Society Islands. Very easy to get to, but it's often overlooked because most visitors are visiting Bora Bora, Moorea, and those kinds. So Huahine is made up of two islands, and there's two different lands that is separated by a very, very, very small bridge. So Huahine Nui is the bigger of the island, and Huahine Iti is the smaller of the island. The airport is very small. Nothing was open when we were there, and our flight was delayed. So when we were leaving. So if you are departing from Huahine Airport, we recommend taking maybe some snacks. We always take snacks. We didn't have any that time because there's really nothing to do. We just literally sat there and waited for our flight. So,
like Tara said, Huahine was probably our favorite island that we went to, just because realistically it was just more laid back, and that's generally what we're looking for. I mean, it's so laid back. There's only 6,000 people on the actual island, like residents that live there. They don't even have a high school or anything like that. Most of the people have to go off the island and go to high school and that type of stuff. It's super, super close flight from Bora Bora. From Bora Bora and Tahiti. And it just seems like it's a little bit more underdeveloped than all the other islands, but it's also very underrated because of that, I think.
Yeah. And there's not as many hotels on the island because it's not as busily, not as frequently visited. So there's less like accommodations, and most accommodations are going to be like guest houses or Airbnb, which is what we stayed at. So there's not like a bunch of high 5-star resorts. Actually, I don't think there's any. There's a few like 3-star resorts on the island, but it's just not as popular as like Bora Bora is. So just not as many places to stay, which we love, like that kind of feel. We just really felt so welcomed when we went. Everyone was so friendly to us. We met some of our favorite people, Jerry on the island. He did one of the tours that we'll get to later, but it was just a very special island. We spent 3 nights in Huahine at the end of our trip, and we could have easily stayed way longer because we just loved it so much. And it's just one of those like natural laid back islands. There's just not a lot to do, or the things to do are more just like hanging out and relaxing. It's not a bunch of there's not a long list of like things that need to be checked off. So if you're looking for like a really relaxed, low-key, beautiful island, that is Huahine.
Yeah. Some things to know about Huahine is there's no public transportation. So if you want to get around and, go more than just like walking distance, you're going to want to rent a car or a scooter or, a bike around somewhere along those lines. Also, you kind of want to make sure that you book early, as there's not a lot of accommodation there. So you want to make sure that if it's someplace you decide to go, make sure you look into it, because it's not, like Bora Bora or Tahiti where there's more hotels and that type of stuff. We found that Huahine was actually a lot cheaper than the other islands that we went to. We were able to get lobster and rice at a food cart for just $22. USD,
US dollars,
which is just like super cheap, and it was delicious. I mean, it wasn't anything like the lobsters that we had in Antigua, but it was still pretty good. And then, you know, the Airbnb that we stayed at for 3 nights was a super cute place that had a kitchen and everything. And, you know, that was only $342 for the 3 nights. But, you know, if you wanted to look more into this, make sure you check out our video on our French Polynesia, the budget video. That's a good
We broke
video.
down all of how much we totally spent in our time in French Polynesia. So Huahine was the cheapest spot that we visited. Okay, so now we're just going to talk about 5 of the best things to see and do in Huahine. And these are in no particular order, although this one is our favorite. It's the 3-in-1 Huahine Lagoon tour. We'll link a video right here. We did that with Huahine Nautic. This is where our friend Jerry, he was the guide. He was awesome. This tour is amazing. It includes like a full island tour on the boat, snorkeling with reef sharks. You get to visit the pearl farm, which the pearl farm is in the middle of the ocean. So the only way to get there is they have to pick you up from someplace. So if you're visiting the pearl farm on your own, you just have to like meet them on the island, and they'll come and grab you and take you out to the pearl farm. And then the tour also includes an amazing homemade picnic on like a private motu. So this tour is the best way to explore the island. It was our absolute favorite from like our whole time in the French Polynesia. And it's only $90 a person. So that includes the food, the drinks, the snorkeling, everything. So it's 6 hours. It's a great tour. They do an amazing job. You get to see a lot of the island and visit the motus and everything. It's just, we highly, highly recommend this tour.
Yeah. I won't speak too much more on the tour. If you want to, you can check out the in-depth video that we made about the tour. But like, honestly, it was just one of the coolest things because I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be kind of just like one of those other regular excursions that we've done just around the island, but this one was just super cool. And you know, the days didn't start out well with the rain, but then it cleared up for us. So
yeah.
But yeah, check out that video. That's a great video. All right, so the next one is to explore, and I still don't know how to pronounce it, but Far or whatever, we're gonna call it Huahine Village, which is kind of just the main town, the main city in Huahine. We stayed just bike ride distance, maybe a quarter mile or something, 5 to 10 minute bike ride from door to door to like the main supermarket that they have there. That's a supermarket that most everybody goes to in town. What was it?
I think it might be the only supermarket on the island.
On the island, yeah. So generally it's, what was our host saying? She was saying like, it is very, very busy in the morning because that's when like a lot of the locals come. I believe that's what she was saying. And when she picked us up is like, it's super busy in the mornings because the locals just go there in the morning and get all their stuff. Yeah, that's, you know, Huahine is the main city, and it's not like super big. You can walk from there and back probably in 10 minutes, just walk the whole strip of the actual city.
Yeah, well, and there's like a really nice beach right there. I'm assuming it's Huahine Beach. And Huahine Yacht Club is right there in Huahine, which is like a really popular bar. They have happy hour. You could sit there and watch the sunset, which is a really nice spot.
Great spot for that.
And then they have a bunch of little, what they call roulettes, which is like food trucks. So there's a bunch of different food trucks right there in that little main town right on the water. That's the one that we got the lobster at. And so it's just a really, I wouldn't say busy, but a popular place to be if you're in Huahine. There's a lot of restaurants and stuff right there. So obviously if you want to be around some of the like things to do, Huahine is going to be the place to stay for you, just because of everything that's right there. And our other favorite thing to do is eat at Izzys. This place actually, it was really close to our Airbnb, and the first day we were like, oh, it's a burger place. Like, how good are burger places in French Polynesia, right? Like, we're just eating a bunch of seafood. And then we kept seeing that it was like ranked really high and everyone was like recommending it. And we're like, okay, we got to go. But then the timing or the day they were closed, one of the times that we tried to go, they were like closed. And so we finally got to go on the second to last day there, and it was amazing. It was hands down probably one of the best burgers that we've ever had.
Tara eats a lot of burgers.
I love a good burger. But we also got to meet Izzy, the owner, and she's a French American who opened up her own burger spot there. And she was super nice to talk to. It was great to like meet her and just kind of talk about her journey. She's from California and her journey opening this burger spot. It was always seemed busy when we were going by. The burgers were great. They had like a shrimp. What did you get?
Burger. It was just a regular burger with a bunch of stuff on it, but then like on top of it was 2 or 3 slices of just giant shrimp.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever had shrimp on a burger before, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and it was shockingly one of the best things I've ever had. The combination of the salt with it, I don't know. There's something about it. It was very, very good. I got it again.
So needless to say, we went back a second time. So you know us, if you've seen our video, if we find a place we like, we just keep going back. So we were able to go back before we left on our flight the next morning. But believe us when we say like those are some of the best burgers that we've ever had. And I know it sounds weird to be going to a burger spot in French Polynesia, but just trust us.
Yeah, no, like Tara said, it was surprisingly, it was that good. And, you know, if I could have, I would have eaten that every day of the trip in the French Polynesia.
Yeah.
Like, the burger is hands down one of the best burgers. Like, the only thing that would rival it would be our burgers that we had on the Cook Islands.
Yeah, that's another good burger.
Yeah.
South Pacific knows how to do a burger.
Apparently, yes. So our next favorite thing to do in Huahine is ride around on bikes. One of the coolest things is our Airbnb had some bikes for us, and that was basically our main form of transportation the whole time, besides our excursion picked us up and whatnot. But very, very easy island to get around in. It's super flat, amazing palm trees everywhere, and it's just super beautiful.
Yeah, it's like one of those picturesque islands with the greenery, the palm trees, the greenery. There is a little bit of mountainous land in the middle, but you know, it has the crystal blue water, and so it's just a low-key island to just bike around. You get to explore a lot of different places right there, and you can rent a car or a scooter if you want to see a lot more on the island, although there's not a whole lot more. But to us, the bikes worked out perfect, just getting around, going to the store.
Sorry.
Going to the store and then, you know, going to get food and stuff. And our last thing that we would recommend in Huahine is to see the pregnant lady. So Huahine means sex of the woman. And if you are looking, you have to get into the water or be on a boat. You can actually see the mountains of the island make it look like a pregnant lady laying down. So you can see her head and her boobs and her stomach, her belly, and then her legs. So it's pretty cool to actually see that. And obviously when you're on the island, you don't see it. So you have to kind of get away from that and see it. But that's obviously how the island got the name Huahine. So it's just cool to be able to see on a clear day. Obviously, the first day we got there, it was cloudy and we weren't able to fully see it. So we weren't quite grasping the whole pregnant lady term. But it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm going to age myself a little bit, but it's like one of those back in the late 90s, early 2000s, one of those posters where if you like squinted and looked It's like a 3D image, and you squint the right way, you can see it. But it was like one of those where I struggled to see those. But it was one of those where like when you looked at it and then you saw what someone explaining it, you were like, oh, okay, sure, that makes total sense. It really does look like it, what you see in that picture.
You can't unsee it once you see it.
Exactly.
I mean, you just know. But at first, it's kind of like it just looks like different mountains together.
Yeah. Dog wants to play fetch. This island is just one of our favorite islands.
Yeah.
It's so amazing for just relaxing and chill. It's a lot more laid back than the other islands. Like my favorite part of it was just kind of the people that we met on there. Yeah,
the people were super friendly. It was interesting because we found that it was a lot of mainly French speaking locals there. I think that's just because it's not as touristy as some of the other islands that we visited. But even in that, they were super friendly. Everyone that we met, between Izzy and Jerry and some of the other people, Steven and Steve. People at the restaurants and stuff, everyone was super friendly. And it's just a very low-key island. It's great for relaxing. It's just underrated. I know by talking about it, we're kind of ruining it a little bit, but it's just you have to go to Huahine if you're going to French Polynesia.
Yeah, it is one that you should put on the list of I'd say Bora Bora's first, for most people, you gotta go and see what they have to offer, but Huahine is just, if you're looking to just chill and relax and just meet some really cool people, it was our favorite island, hands down.
Yeah. So. And if you're interested in more French Polynesia videos, make sure you watch our 10 tips for visiting French Polynesia. We'll link that here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Whoa.